Hey there, you me and DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am the stepson of Krypton, coming to you today with another in the DC KO All Fight Month. This time we have Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. All right, guys, I know we've had a lot of these fights. We're getting through round two here. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I don't want to focus on the glasses I'm wearing to protect myself from the lights. We are just going to jump on into it. All right, guys. So this issue opens up similar to the other actual fight events we've had. Now, we've had Superman versus Captain Atom. We have had Wonder Woman versus Lobo. We have had Aquaman versus Hawkman. And now with Zatanna and Harley Quinn. And the heart is telling her kind of the rules that they must compete in hand to hand combat. But, not all is what it seems, or so Zatanna thinks. Now, keep in mind, the heart makes the environments based on the individual. But regardless, they're going to have to fight their way out. Then we switch over to Harley, who within the first few panels has her spiked mallet out, smashing things, working out a little frustration. And I like how she says the justice jerks are putting their lives on the line when really they're the ones that kind of force their way down there to get into the tournament. But it's typical villain, no accountability taken, right? Zadana hears the smashing of walls, and we kind of see Harley making her way through what looks like a movie set of walls to get to Zatanna. And I love that Harley's mallet says KO on it, whereas a lot of times, we kind of see it's got some kind of a face on it. She decorated it up for this event. And with a crash, Harley now enters the show, and Zatanna is relieved to see her. But Z thinks that she and Harley are going to be like partners in this fight. But Harley kind of quickly lets her know what the deal is with a swift shot right to the throat with the butt of that mallet. To be fair, Harley is just an ordinary person, albeit insane, but Zatanna is the strongest magic user in the world, according to Harley. With Zatanna nursing a possible fractured larynx and unable to speak, Harley has the upper hand, and Zatanna decides to flee. Harley continues to chase down Zatanna, and I'll say hats off to both of them for running in those damn high heels, though that doesn't last long. Harley reminds Zatanna that she's going to have to kill her now, but when she becomes a cosmic god, she will bring her back to life. I mean, that's nice at least, right? Having finally caught up to Zatanna, all while contemplating being King Omega, Queen Omega, who knows, whatever you want to call him, Z tries to speak, but is now immediately given a blow to the stomach from Harley with that mallet. Well, even if Zatanna was able to speak again, she isn't now. And we can't really have that anyways, according to Harley, who comes flying down towards Zatanna, mallet handle ready. Right to the stomach, KO, winner, Harley. Now, this does kind of look like a killing blow, but I think it's interesting that in the fights, like with Superman versus Captain Atom, they're having to kill each other. But then in fights like Wonder Woman versus Lobo, it seems like they really just have to knock each other out because, like in those battles, most of what they did wouldn't have actually killed each other. Now, I know it says KO event, but this isn't knockouts. They believe they had to, the fights to the death, but we'll see. Now Harley gets her first taste of the Omega energy, and she gets to choose her next form for any in the multi. But what will she choose? Injustice Harley? New 52 Harley? Or Year of the Villain Harley? With some nice reality warping powers. As she decides her costume change, you have to give her credit for being realistic. Even though Zatanna is a very, very powerful magic user, the next round of fights, she will be going up against some real powerhouses, right? And just being a mere mortal, even she kind of doesn't expect to last that much longer. It's a little interesting that as Harley and Zatanna talk in between the rounds, or so it looks like, Zatanna's voice doesn't seem to be fully back yet, because even Harley says it's a little raspy. And from what we've seen thus far, when they die, they come back like at full health, perfectly okay. Kind of like in Mortal Kombat, when you come back into the second round, you're fine. Now, normally they choose a new and more powerful form, and maybe that could be why. Whereas Zatanna looks like she's just staying her normal self, but she's taking the jacket off. She's ready to kick some ass without magic or gimmicks. Now it's Harley's world for them to play in. And just like me, Harley has been playing a lot of retro video games lately, leading to the world that they're currently in. But Zatanna is getting pissed. And as she swings for Harley and misses, Harley uses the opportunity to bite off Zatanna's earring, taking a little chunk of her ear with her. All the while, Harley is trying to provoke Zatanna to let out her power. After all, this is a woman who's gone toe to toe with the Lords of Order and Chaos, like in the Upside Down Man incident. Using a little magic, Z heals herself, and Harley's point is proven. What chance does she really stand when she's up against a person that can just heal themselves? However, Zatanna has still yet to use her magic against Harley, and Harley feels she must break some bones to get her point across. And speaking of points, Zatanna takes one from the environment and stabs Harley in the leg with it. But as the old saying goes, a thigh for a thigh. Wait, that's close enough. As Harley takes the metal looking leaf out of her leg and stabs Z in her leg with it. And then the hair pulling starts. They go back and forth, blow for blow, giggity. And Harley seems happy that now Zatanna seems to be getting the point of this whole thing. And with a haymaker, it's KO Harley, winner Zatanna. And this is what I mean. Unless she used magic, which I kind of don't feel like she did, that wouldn't kill Harley. So she literally just it did KO her. She just knocked her out. Even though, like I said in the beginning, the heart makes it sound like every fight was to the death. It could just meant that, of the best of three, right? If you don't win the best of three, you die. But who knows? Zatanna is now getting her first taste of the Omega energy, but she still isn't going to choose a different form. Now, to be fair, she really doesn't need it when fighting Harley. But then again, Harley has a trick up her sleeve. She's going to borrow a little magic. I mean, that's not cheating, right? Final round. But this time, the stage is blank. It's a void. Maybe this is because things are 1-to-1 and they want the environment to be even. Well, as they get ready, Harley is addressing her fans, which again is confusing to Diana because, again, nobody is there. And she doesn't take too kindly to being gaslit. Harley wastes no time breaking out the magic against Zatanna, but Z is still holding back. She knows what will happen if she lets loose. But she has to remember this is what the heart is looking for if it is going to crown someone King Omega. Since this isn't enough to get Zatanna to let loose, Harley goes a little personal with it, bringing up her ex, John Constantine, and about how she's living in the shadow of her father, Zatara. All the while, Zatanna just takes it. But what's next? Is Harley going to pull a rabbit out of her hat? Close. It's a revolver. We'll start with it's fine. Shooting some nice magical bullets at Zatanna, Harley continues to dig at her about her dead father and how she will never escape his legacy, never be what he was. But we can see Zatanna is starting to break. And with a wild scream, the beast is loose, and Harley actually looks excited. Although, that look won't last long. And it's right in the abdomen she is hit with a bolt of energy. Now, Zatanna, in tears over what happened, what she has done, holds Harley, worried for her. After all, this might be permanent. But Harley, albeit crazy, is still a realist. She knew she wasn't making it far in this tournament. As more tears come, giggity, Harley tells Zatanna that she believes in her and that she can win this if she walks that morally gray area Harley's used to living in, and that she is glad she was taken out by a friend. Well, that's all, folks. Harley's final sign off. Now, this is big for Zatanna. She's never killed anybody before. This is no longer about winning to gain the power. It's about winning to undo what she has done and to stop Darkseid. Well, I guess it is a little about gaining the power. And when she does, she's bringing Harley back, and they're going to scissor. At least that's what I'm hoping. I feel like they should. Zatanna wins.
Fatality.
Well, Harley did want her to access her rage, and she has no intention on wasting it. The only question now is, who's next? All right, guys, and that is where this issue ends. A bit longer for what actually had transpired. Now, I know we had just come off of the Aquaman versus Hawkman, which was late. I apologize, but that one was only a 2-round fight. Aquaman just kind of whoops ass and kind of ends it a little early. This one drug on, and I think a lot of it, with them being friends in this. Obviously it shows the hardships that they're going to have to face in continuing on with this tournament because there's only going to be the one winner. So overall, I'd say pretty good. I don't think it's the worst one in the KO fights thus far. But let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. And while you're doing that, might as well go ahead and give the video a like, subscribing to the channel, and having your bell notifications clicked because we are still covering everything going on in the KO event, everything happening in the Absolute universe, which I have a feeling they're going to cross. If you remember from like the first event where you did see Absolute, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, they're going to cross over at some point. We will be here, and if you have your bell notifications clicked, you will get alerted when those videos come out, guys. And that is going to do it for me on this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until next time, guys, I'll see you then.